Sorry, which agenda was for when?
It's okay. Don't worry about it, Sarah. I can take care of it, Michelle. Just stay tuned.
Okay.
You're live.
At this point, I'd like to call to order the St. Mary's Business Improvement Area Board meeting for Monday, February 9th, 2026 at 5:59 p.m. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Excellent. And as we move forward with this Zoom format, which we're not terribly used to because we've been able to meet in person, if anyone's calling a motion to move or second, if you could just do so audibly, that would be great, just for the help of the minutes. Number 3 is the amendments and approval of the agenda. We do have one agenda item to be added, and that would be under other business. Item 9.9 would be the Heritage Committee update, which will be a brief rundown of just some of the meetings that they've had. And Dan Troyer will be leading that. If we can start with the recommendation that the February 9th, 2026 St. Mary's Business Improvement Area Board meeting agenda be approved as amended. May I have a mover?
Alex.
Thank you, Alex. And a seconder?
Dan.
Thank you, Dan. All in favor? And then none opposed? So moved. The next would be the acceptance of the minutes from the January 12th, 2026 meeting. It is my recommendation that those minutes be approved by the board and signed by the chair and secretary. Can I have a mover?
I'll move.
Thank you, Jan. And I believe that was seconded by Alex shortly thereafter.
Yep.
All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. Item 1 is our delegations, which is Michelle Courtney from the Blue Water Recycling regarding the recycling transition. Michelle, I'll give you the floor.
Yes, I don't know. Did everyone get my slides in the package there, I would assume?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so I'm Michelle Courtney and I'm with the Blue Water Recycling Association. I'm just here to help you understand the new Blue Box regulations and the implications of those to the IC&I recycling collection. To start, so what are the changes to the Blue Box program? Ontario's Blue Box program has been the cornerstone of residential recycling for packaging and paper products across the province. As of January 1st, 2026, the program transitioned to a new extender producer responsibility, or EPR model. Under EPR, producers are now fully funding and operating the residential recycling services, relieving municipalities of the financial and operational burden while improving service consistency across the province. So the key regulatory change was actually since April 1st of 2024, our association members transitioned to where producers were individually responsible for the collection, processing, and promotion of the packaging material, rather than contributing to a collective municipal system. Producer responsibility organizations, otherwise known as PROs, like Circular Materials, manage the residential recycling on behalf of the producers, coordinating the collection, processing facilities, and public education programs. Municipalities no longer fund or operate curbside residential blue box collection, transferring the full operational and financial responsibility to the producer-funded system. So what does that mean for IC&I properties? So by definition, IC&I is industrial, commercial, and institutional properties, which include businesses, offices, retail stores, restaurants, places of worship, and daycares. Under the new provincial regulation, IC&I properties are explicitly excluded from the Blue Box recycling collection. Recycling collection for IC&I properties is no longer provided through the provincial EPR program. So what is the impact on the business improvement areas and the local businesses? Since January 1st of 2026, there's a separate curbside recycling collection for non-residential properties. Residential and commercial material is no longer allowed to be commingled in the same truck, and therefore we had to create separate IC&I routes. And to be most cost effective, we moved to bi-weekly collection. So on your side, your action items are to ensure all commercial recycling goes in a blue or in a red lid wheelie bin, to understand your new recycling collection schedule, and to explore collaborating with your neighboring businesses and the possibility of sharing either a dumpster or multiple wheelie bins to improve the efficiency of the system. And why the change? So the ministry felt that they needed to create a consistent, efficient residential recycling program across Ontario while reducing municipal operational costs and complexity. They believe that IC&I recycling is costly without economies of scale, and so the regulation does not mandate producer funding for commercial properties. And they continue to concentrate on the residential program, improving recycling consistency, contamination control, and the overall material recovery rates. So what does this mean for the BIA members, and why was the timeline so tight? So just as we were finalizing our plan for 2026, on June 4th of 2025, Ontario proposed amendments to the Blue Box regulation, which included requiring the pros to make an offer to allow co-collection of commercial and residential material. At this point, we began immediately advocating to the local and provincial government, outlining the inefficiency of a segregated system. It took about 4 months to finalize, but on October 1st of 2025, the Ministry of the Environment provided a letter to us confirming that the pros will not voluntarily continue to offer small IC&I collection to the municipalities, even where municipalities are willing to pay, as we had during the transition period. And the letter cited implementation challenges that would make small IC&I collection impractical and unaffordable for most municipalities. And it also noted the potential for disruption of the pro-run residential collection. So that gave us October to December to plan for implementation as of January 1. So at that time, we started completing our new IC&I routes, procuring the new red lids, hiring drivers to complete these IC&I routes, creating promotional and educational material to be able to send out to our commercial properties, and then inevitably at the end of November and start of December, sending out teams to swap the lids to red and discussing the new program. Another question we get is, how did we determine bi-weekly collection? So we did a thorough examination of the existing collection patterns and frequencies for our IC&I properties to establish a baseline of typical service needs. We analyzed the historical bin lift data and revealed that many IC&I bins were not consistently full upon collection, indicating a potential for over-frequent service. A detailed review of the material volume and weight in IC&I bins confirmed that biweekly collection aligns with the average generation rate without compromising capacity issues. We also needed to consider our extensive geographical area and how the bins were scattered throughout that area, and determined that biweekly collection significantly optimized our truck routes, as well as reduced travel time and fuel consumption. So the shift to biweekly collection balances operational efficiencies with cost management, ensuring sustainable service delivery for all of our stakeholders. So in summary, biweekly collection allows us to consolidate pickups, thereby optimizing truck routes, maximizing driver time, and reducing our environmental impact, all while maintaining adequate service capacity and quality for IC&I members. We do realize that this was based on the average generation. And so if you are an outlier and do generate more, you are able to require additional IC&I bins. You just need to call the office and we're happy to deliver additional bins free of charge. So how else can we help? We can provide comprehensive information on your different recycling options. We can provide more information on the regulatory requirements and some best practices on recycling that we've had with our experience. We will continue to advocate to the ministry on your behalf. The system is definitely more efficient to co-collect IC&I and residential, and we will continue to make that clear to our Minister of the Environment. And joint solutions. So we're open to collaborating on new initiatives, to creating the program the most cost-effective, efficient recycling solution for our IC&I properties. Some key points for the IC&I recycling is that your other services haven't changed. Your garbage collection remains unchanged and continues as it had prior to 2026. The quality still matters, and IC&I properties will still follow our previous acceptables list from 2025. The recycling, contamination, and proper sorting remains critical in reducing our cost of collection and processing. And then there are some exemptions. So some IC&I properties like school and not-for-profit long-term care facilities remain eligible for recycling services. And so if any of those properties are asking questions, they're more than welcome to call the office and we can clarify those for them. And so then moving forward, so the Blue Box regulation marks a transformative new era in recycling responsibility across Ontario. While change brings challenges, it definitely creates opportunities for innovation and collaboration. And here at Blue Water Recycling, we're committed to supporting the transition and a long-term success. Together, we can build an efficient, compliant, and environmentally responsible recycling solution that benefits our businesses and our communities. So open to any questions or concerns that anyone has that I can answer above that.
I guess a question I have would be, like you say the commercial and the residential can't be mixed in the same truck. So
Correct.
what are the different, what do you see as the different things that come out of the commercial rather than that doesn't come into residential?
Absolutely nothing. It's ministry driven. So whether you drink a pop at home or a pop at work, I believe it's the same. It can come from that same case. However, we're not allowed by the ministry standards to co-collect them together.
Okay, so what's the ministry saying? What's the reasoning behind that?
Essentially cost. It costs money to collect from business owners. And they're saying that the producers shouldn't have to take on the cost, that the business should take the cost on itself. But that the producers can be responsible for that. That's residential. That's the ministry's take on it. It's not the actual mix of material.
What I did hear about this that was kind of encouraging is that we can request more bins, because I think that's one of the major things that had possibly been a stumbling block for us. Though I recognize there's still challenges. I think that's really good information.
Yeah, and we actually ran out of bins, but an order is actually being delivered tomorrow. So anyone that orders additional bins should be delivered within the next couple of weeks. No issues. Sorry, I just see a message there. Can you please? Oh, that was for Sarah, not for me. Okay, we're good. Any other questions? No? No. You guys made it too easy. I was ready for questions. Okay.
Are we sure? Nothing else, guys? Okay. At this
Well,
point,
yeah. No, I was just gonna say, I think there's some good information in that slide that we can talk Sarah to share, and then information or questions might come your way. But I think there's good key points there to share with membership.
yeah, I think that those who haven't noticed are fine. That's great. And those who have noticed will feel some relief in that information. So I'm more encouraged by this than previous presentations of that information, I would have to say.
Agreed.
At this time, it would be, oh, sorry.
No, just great that I could provide a positive outlook on it. So that's good.
At this point, it would be the recommendation that the delegation from the Blue Water Recycling Association regarding the recycling transition be received. Can I have a mover?
Dan?
Thank you, Dan. Seconder?
Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. All in favor? None opposed? So moved. Thank you very much for your visit today, Michelle. We appreciate you.
No problem. Anytime. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Jed. Thanks, Dave.
Item 6 would be correspondence. We received a letter from the St. Mary's Poetry Circle for the Poetry Month request. They had requested that this be circulated to us. There is not a movement to sponsor it at this time. That is something we've done in the past. They were happy to entertain that sponsorship in either February or March. So I can either change the recommendation after discussion, or we can move forward with just recommending the information being received and decide later. It's up to this group to decide that.
I think we should just do it now and sponsor.
Me too.
Yep.
We've done it in the past. I loved seeing everyone walk around and read them last year. They were larger and had nice displays.
Perfect. I don't think there's any objection. They asked for a very
No.
meager amount. I believe this year they've asked for the $200 as they previously had. So I'm comfortable with changing that recommendation just to move it forward and possibly streamline the next meeting. So at this point, there will be a minor variation in the recommendation. It'd be that the correspondence from the St. Mary's Poetry Circle regarding a request for support be received, and that the downtown BIA support in the amount of $200 from the sponsorship line budget. Can I have a mover?
Jan.
Thank you, Jan. Seconder?
Alex?
Anyone opposed? So moved.
Can I ask a quick question here? Like when do you guys want this check made out to them?
Whenever.
So I can do it whenever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now rather than later. Do not defer, but I mean, it doesn't need to be tonight.
No, I won't do it tonight. I won't get you
Okay.
signed today.
Deal. Next up is Dan and the treasurer's report.
Okay, let me get down here to it. So I did the 25, that's the whole year. I've recategorized where we thought that everything should be. So all the changes that we had proposed back in December are now in the correct spots. So this is what our year end looks like, what we spent. So beautification spent a little over 9,500.
Actually, sorry, Dan, I think there's one missing, the $4,000 going to Lyric for Christmas decor. I don't see in that.
Yeah, no, like anything that they paid out, it's in there. So
We haven't paid Lyric the $4,000 for the Christmas stuff?
oh, let me take a look here. Hang on. 1 second. I'll be right there. Just got to get the checkbook open. Derek's Flowers holiday pots 3580 was paid on December 2nd. $4,000.
Yeah, I think it was $4,045.40.
There's no line item to reflect that. I think Dan is the concern.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I will fix that then.
Perfect.
So then we're 13,000 then. Okay, sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry. It's fine.
Okay. Anything else that you see that is not right? But I think it's pretty good. So
yep.
So we spent 19,000 or 20,000 out of our reserve the past year.
Mm-hmm.
The income, I put the tips that we did with the MOH. I had it at beautification before, but I just put it in income because it's money coming in. So marketing around 34. So I mean, to me, it looks pretty good. So if everybody's okay with that, and then what's the next screen is what we spent so far in this month. Oh, I should also say, in the operations, Sarah, we still have 1,200 outstanding yet check you haven't cashed yet. So that's
Dan.
still in the operations.
And we can take, Sarah and I chatted about that today. Apologies. We'll take that offline and I'll connect with you on that. Because there's also an outstanding check, I believe, for marketing as well, for a small amount for Facebook ads that's still outstanding.
I haven't, yeah. Have I received anything? Yeah. Okay. So
we'll
okay.
take that offline, but that will need to be added in. Yes.
Okay. So, but yeah, so our checkbook actually stands around 74,365. So I assume that's going to be all reserved since we haven't had any income this year yet. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing, have we come to, this is great for 2026 for what we've spent. Where are we at with the budget for this year?
Well, Lisa, Jan and I met once, and I guess Lisa needs to wants to finalize some numbers.
Okay.
But then, yeah, we need to set up another meeting and get it going.
And then as well, if we can include in that, sorry, if there's anyone else that wants to add something, this is just top of mind, that the commitments that we've made out of the reserve fund for this coming year. So that would include the banners, the self-watering pots.
Yeah, that should all be in the budget when it comes out.
Okay. But we're gonna have that drafted. That's because I think we need to present it before the AGM, right? To council.
Yeah, we should
Perfect.
have it. We probably should have it. Let's say AGM is what, April?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll have it. We should have something next meeting. So we'll have to set up a meeting with Jan and Lisa and get that up to you.
That sounds great.
I have a draft already, but I can't go on with it. So okay, I think that's all I have for now.
Anyone else have anything for that piece? Okay. At this point, it would be the recommendation. Sorry, I've got to flip through to my. It would be the recommendation that the January Treasurer's Report be received with amendments. Can I have a mover?
Jan.
Thank you, Jan. Seconder.
Alex.
Thank you, Alex. All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. Next will be the council report, which will be a verbal report from Brogan. Thank you, Brogan.
All right, gang. I didn't have a big, long, crazy report for you tonight, but there was something I did want to mention, which is last week during the library board meeting, we received a report on the capital campaign for 14 Church Street. And so it was determined that they will be going for a fundraising goal of $1 million for that project, as well as the first kind of anchor donations have come in. So Waghorn, Stevens, Sipos, and Polton Law have donated $65,000 in the memory of Ben Waghorn, as well as the Friends of the Library have pledged $10K sort of over their next couple of years in terms of fundraising. So two pretty big staples there. So it's exciting to see, and hopefully we can get some more coming in. So that is all I really wanted to make mention of. And if you have any questions regarding the capital campaign or anything regarding that process, reach out to Sarah at the library and she will be able to fill you in. So thank you.
I'm just going to add to that, if I can,
Sure.
that Sarah is coming to the March BIA meeting to present on this to the group. So just as a heads up, she'll be at the March 9th meeting with the co-chair, I forget who it is, Brogan, who the chair is for the fundraising committee.
Oh, should it be with Cole Atlan?
Cole Atlan, yeah. Co-chair is
Excellent.
Colin, I think, is the acting chair, though.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. It will be
Colin is the
Colin. That's
acting
right.
chair, and I'm on that committee as well. So
Yeah. Okay. That's all I've got. I conclude my report.
and there's nothing to receive or do anything with on that. So we'll move on to other business. Item 9.1, which is the selfie station, which is kind of, I've got Alex's name here, but it's just a general. She was the one who wanted to speak about it, but I think there's lots of people that can add to this. So Alex, I'll let you drive this one.
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm because I wasn't at the last meeting and I know there was some discussion about the selfie station. If we should be going ahead and ordering more vinyl, like a vinyl style banner for it, a more spring one, more in line with our branding logo, maybe the map that we had commissioned, or if we were moving away from vinyl and looking for something more permanent. So I just wanted to get the feeling of the board so I don't move ahead in a wrong direction that way. But, oh, sorry. And you recognize you, Jen.
Hi, Ronan.
I would say we stick with the vinyl just because it can be changed out and keeping it fresh, as opposed to if we do something permanent, it's just going to be the same all the time, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's ways that even with a vinyl background, with through plants, through additions, like we can make it look bigger, like more full, like we have done, and like you're doing, Lisa. I didn't know if there was something in the works, but if there's not, like for spring, I think we should have some. We can work on something to get it ready. So shortly after February is over, because February is up now, it can be replaced with something for spring. And then when someone has a great idea, or we have a contest, or we put out the call to help us with generating more ideas for a more permanent structure, we can work on it then, was my thinking. But
well, yeah, actually, it was something I was going to bring up in the beautification section. We had a working group meeting on Saturday. And the butterfly one that we had up last year, I've reached out to the Horticultural Society asking if we put that up in late spring for the summer and ask them to provide, and we would pay for obviously, the plants that go towards making a butterfly garden. So it's sort of an interactive thing. Save the butterflies, plant these things. And she, the lady at the Horticultural Society, was going to bring it up at the next meeting and get back to us. And also, I asked her about possibly telling us some sort of a flowers that we can put in front of the buck or two that is more resilient to the blazing sun and the dehydration and everything. So again, she's going to get back to me on that. But at the working group, because Jan had mentioned a couple weeks ago that she wanted to do a real baseball themed thing this summer. And so I brought that up with the working group, and we've come up with an idea of putting in a facade, a baseball themed facade in front of the selfie station that looks like a picture frame. So when it's induction week, we could put up the members' induction photos. And then after that, possibly some of the kids' baseball teams around town. So we're sort of fleshing that idea out. And Laura is going to put together some basic artwork for us to have a look at. So one of the options coming up.
Should I work on anything for March, April before butterflies and
sure, yeah,
baseball?
We can't put out plants until at least May, so there's no point in having a butterfly up there that just sits there. Yeah, so sure.
Any other feedback?
I think that's great, Lisa. Can we get an idea? I know in previous iterations, you kind of generated those banners. So in order to give Alex a little bit of creative freedom and us just a direction, do we know like how many more vinyls in theory we'd be looking for this year from a budget perspective? And also, what does one cost, Lisa? Sorry, I know we can look back, but I also know that it'll be right on the top of your head.
Anywhere between 300 and I think 600, depending on the size. And if they come within like 4 days, like, not that we want to leave it too long, but Vistaprint turns it around really, really quickly. And they're pretty reasonable for the durability that we get out of them. Because we've got, so far, just the butterfly one. We have a fall one if we don't redesign it and put up something different in the fall. Christmas will be coming up. We have to decide what's going up for Christmas, but that hasn't been discussed yet. And yeah, just the ideas with around baseball for the summer months that's coming together with the working group. But that's it for what's already planned.
So with Alex's ideas in mind and your beautification strategy, what do you think would be a number of banners that we could possibly look at procuring this year?
3, 4.
That's kind of where I was
If we said
landing.
4 and then we're covered.
Because even if the banner, like if we're talking baseball, different banners, it could be somewhere else. Like it could be a banner for a different location, maybe. It is Jan, yeah.
So would it be fair, like 1,500 would cover enough for a year?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What was that, Dan?
Would 1,500 cover for a year?
I doubt it. On 4 banners?
2,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a safer number.
So 500 each kind of thing?
Ballpark, yeah. Some might be a little over, some might be a little under.
Ballpark, pun intended.
Ah, no.
All right. So then at this point, is everyone comfortable with the recommendation that the St. Mary's Business Improvement Area Board approves $2,000 be spent for the purpose of new and reusable vinyl and displays for the selfie station? Can I have a mover?
Lisa?
And a seconder?
Jan?
Thank you, Jan. All in favor? Are there any opposed? Perfect. So moved with Alex on the hunt for March and April's new best thing.
Yes, we will do it. Sarah, give me. We can do it. Everyone, we'll do something. Okay, great.
All right. Item 9.2 is the up and coming soup crawl. I don't know how Alex's name got attached to this one, but I think it was just on her email. So this is a free for all, heavy on.
I will say 2 things. Or to add to the soup crawl. One is that I'm working on like a prize for the winning soup. Jen and I are kind of collaborating on like a fixture of a framed spoon and a little tag that will live in someone's shop, hopefully for the year until next time. Little memento. And we've also, I've purchased a soup bowl from Zenfire for the winner of the draw. So we have prizes. We can promote.
Amazing.
I'm going to put BIA logos and stickers on them. Yeah, little something extra. Get people out.
Perfect. And I've costed out cups, and we're looking from Amazon for, on top of the cups that I already still have in my office credenza, we're looking at grabbing another 1,300 soup cups for this year.
You know,
so
I bet Stonetown might have them in town.
Okay.
I can ask, and I'll CC. Just they're local and they're usually very quick.
Sure, absolutely. I figured it out based on 10 liters per soup, and I did all the math with the 4-ounce cups. That was the magic number was roughly just a little over 1,200, or was 1,300. I have 200 plus in my inventory, so I figured ordering another 1,300 would keep us safe and sound.
The idea is sip, right? No spoon.
Bring your own spoon.
BYOS.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you want a spoon.
Perfect. Thank you.
Take it away, Sarah.
I think most of you are participating. So you've been getting the updates that I've been sending out to the Soup Crawl gang. I included Kelly on a couple of those emails because she had offered to put up a poster at Town Hall and the train station. I think that's what you said, Kelly. But we have 15 participants. So I think that's pretty awesome. That's almost double what we had last year. And pairing that with the Chamber Business After 5 event, I think it'll be a bustling downtown that night. It's going to be exciting. And I went on to the chamber. I never did for some reason, Taylor and I did not. We just like, I don't know what happened, but she has stopped responding. So I hopefully can connect with her again soon. But I went onto the chamber website and they're promoting our soup crawl. So they're encouraging people to go to the after dinner, the business after 5, and then go try soup and check out the local businesses. So I think that's pretty cool. And I'm planning to come early, and I asked Megan today if she'd do some copying, and I'll arrange with Jan, but we're dropping off ballots to every participant and a little map or like a list of all the businesses and the addresses and the soups, and whether they're gluten-free or vegetarian or whatever, so that people know where to go. And it's just going to be pumping out the promotion of that for the next little while. So yeah, it's cool. Everyone's been really great. So.
And Stratford Today has reached out as well to do an interview. They want to feature it in their publication also.
Awesome. That's great. Oh, and was there ever an article put out, because someone was contacted, and then I know Jan was being interviewed by the Independent? Was that who was, did an article ever get written?
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. I didn't see it, but I assume it did, because I sent him pictures. Remember, you sent me pictures. I gave them to him. He asked a ton of questions. I stopped getting the Independent at the store, so I don't know.
Has anyone else seen it? No? Does anyone else look at the Independent?
I look at the Independent. I haven't seen it.
So it hasn't been in there. Okay. All right.
Hold on. Let me see here.
I'm thinking it's
pipeline.
It's really
January 22nd.
Pardon?
There was an article on January 22nd.
Oh, awesome. Great.
I'll
post that on the Facebook event page.
Perfect. Okay. So at this point, based on the costing that Alex had presented with me previous to this meeting, and then the costing that I had recommended, or that I had reached out for the few cups, which might be procured elsewhere, but it would be the recommendation that the St. Mary's Business Improvement Area Board approves the allocation of $350 for the purpose of activation of the soup crawl. Can I have a mover?
Jan.
Thank you, Jan. And a seconder?
Dan.
Thank you, Dan. All in favor? Perfect. None opposed. The good news about that as well is that, this is a nominal increase for what seems to be like an exponentially larger growth since last year. So I think that's pretty exciting that we're still in line with our mindful budget, but we're getting a much better footprint this year. So great job. All right. Item 9.3. Other than the visitor's guide, are there any other ads to consider? Alex?
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted, Alex.
Thank you. That was just a conversation to have, just so that we're on top of creating the ad and meeting deadlines for it. So I know originally a few months ago, we had talked about Day Tripper. I wasn't sure if I should be following up on that, if we should move ahead there. There was some conversation about having an ad in the Independent, just thanking people for shopping downtown. It could be, thank you for supporting us this winter. It could be, look at all the things we have, like look at what's upcoming this season, but a general, like a heartfelt thank you from our BIA and downtown businesses to readers for supporting us. I think that might be kind and beneficial, but also maybe unnecessary. Open to thoughts.
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything that you said. I think that's great.
And maybe we should do it periodically.
Yeah, like a seasonal, like reoccurring seasonal ad, or is a, thank you for supporting us this winter, and then I look forward to what's coming, or just the consistent every quarter. We appreciate you shopping downtown. Obviously the verbiage will be expanded, but
it could be a thank you, and then it could also be highlighting like something that's happening, whether it's downtown trick-or-treating or the Merchants Open House or Soup Crawl or whatever.
And do we think the Independent is the best place to do it?
For local people, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's who we're targeting. So.
I don't know
if you noticed,
for this
piece, I think that's who. Yeah, sorry, Sarah.
Sorry, I included in my marketing report, like little sample ad. I've included the visitor's guide ad, and I included the pricing so that you guys just had because Stu did thanks Kelly. Stu did reach out and send me that. And it is a far less expensive than I was expecting it to be. I don't know what I was expecting. It's been so long since I've dealt with print marketing, but so if you guys wanted to sort of peek at that at some point just to get an idea going forward.
Yeah, like a
size you'd like, or
quarter page is $235, which I think, if we did 4 of those, I think that's pretty reasonable. I think it should be in color. I think it should pop. Yes. So I would choose color over black and white. Mm-hmm. But I think, I think it would be a nice token, and we do a lot to attract people to come in to St. Mary's and visit, but I think, we really do appreciate the people who are on the streets every day and who live in the community.
My temptation for the first one would be to just do a heartfelt thank you, just because there's nothing immediately that's happening, and then moving forward, capitalize on that idea of like what else is coming up. But I don't know what everyone else feels about that. I just think a thank you would be nice without a.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Ditto.
So with that being said, I guess it would be the recommendation that the St. Mary's Business Area Board funds a thank you for shopping downtown series of ads with the Independent with a spend of not more than $1,200. May I have a mover?
Is that going to be enough? Is that going to be enough?
Yeah, it's $235 if we're doing 4. That allows for taxes and.
Okay.
Lisa is the mover. Thank you. Seconder.
Brogan will move that.
Brogan! All in favor? None opposed? So moved. Next up, summer activations with Sarah.
I don't know why that's in there. I'm trying to remember, but I'm wondering if that had to do with Kelly and I chatted about summer, July, the downtown BIA getting involved in something outside of just the hair. So as Kelly explained, they want to do more than just the Heritage Festival weekend. They're sort of doing things all throughout the summer, all throughout July, and thought it would be great if there was something that the BIA wanted to host or offer or organize, whether it was like live music or a sidewalk sale. Alex and I talked about it briefly, and we came up with the sidewalk sale idea. So I'm pretty sure that that's what I meant. But I'm trying to what is that? Why am I talking about this? But
we were talking about it. We were talking about it to get it on our radar because July will actually be here pretty quickly, or planning for summer.
Yeah.
And we had talked about a sidewalk sale, and I had thought about, I don't know, very preliminary thoughts, but not quite the Winter Merchants Open House, but some sort of general sidewalk sale or save the tax or discount one of those July weekends. whatever businesses choose to incentivize or promote or discount. But
2 years ago, the Stratford BIA decided to host a sidewalk sale. They hadn't like a daytime one because I know that Midnight Madness used to be a thing in St. Mary's. At least that's what I remember from my childhood. But they decided to do it the last 2 years in Stratford, and it has been really successful, like really, really, really great. But it's both times it's occurred on the same weekend as Heritage Festival. So I'm like, oh, because it's always one of those things that if people are going to choose one or the other. And obviously it was also very hot the last couple of years, but it might be fun to think about something like that. That's all we're doing. Because I know over there, and I know they're different demographics, and I know it's very different there than here, or sorry, I'm here now, but like it's different in Stratford and St. Mary's. But I know with Stratford, the first year they did it in conjunction with another big event downtown, like the BIA's anniversary and the festival did something. And then it was requested to not do it the same weekend, that it was better to do it as its own thing. And I think it was even more successful when it was just its own thing. But again, when I say really successful, I think there were a lot of people out and a lot of activity in the street. I don't know if it brought a lot of businesses to downtown or because I wasn't involved with it last year. But anyway, I just thought I would throw that information out there. But I wouldn't necessarily think it would be something in conjunction with Heritage Festival, but maybe. Anyways, it's up to you guys. I just thought I would bring this up so that it's on our radar to think about some way we can host something or be involved with these heritage, these like activations that
bring people all
town
summer.
is doing. Yeah. And if any of you have ideas, and I'll just kind of leave it with you now.
I think it's a great idea. I think having something, I don't know everything. I know an email came around about Heritage, but I didn't get a chance to look at it yet. But I think anything that encourages people to come downtown is good.
I agree.
Yeah. I was going to say, in the interest of engagement, just because we did have like a member of the BIA, they may not be on the board, but we had a member that was very active and encouraging kind of the Thursday night shopping in December. Perhaps the next step would just maybe to be engaged for any ideas with her and maybe any other businesses to see if they have any ideas, just so that we're not making the decisions and saying this is what we should do, like get some ownership from other people. I don't know. That's just a thought.
I mean, I feel like the AGM is maybe a little late to put, but maybe not. But because it's the only place I can think of that will have active members congregated. But I certainly can send something out to the membership in the meantime, or reach out to Jen or anybody individually, or you guys can. But even just bringing back, like if it was a Thursday night thing, we could tie it into like the Midnight Madness magic that used to be a big part of downtown St. Mary's. And again, I don't know if any of you remember that, or if any of you lived here or were alive then, or like born yet is what I meant. I don't know, but I remember it being a really significant part of my childhood. And at the time, my parents, they were like essentially downtown merchants. Or my mom was, so it was just a big part of my childhood. But yeah, I don't know.
I agree with everything you're saying, Sarah, and I agree with everything you're saying too, Megan. But I do think maybe the BIA should plan at least one thing that would happen when everybody's open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if we did like a Thursday night shopping thing, which is a great idea, but not necessarily everybody would participate. And if we did a midnight thing, not necessarily everybody would participate.
It's not actually midnight.
Or you know what I mean? It's
midnight.
We did. I still think there could be value in the BIA planning something that would happen when everybody is open, which obviously is usually a Saturday. And I'm not intentionally excluding services. I don't know how they would 100% fit into an activation for the summer, but that's the only thing I would think of.
Yeah.
I think it's a great
They
point,
could,
Jane.
they could participate in a, I would think, if they want to, in a some sort of sidewalk
100%.
sale
Like
type
how we do
event
the
with
trick or
any sort
treating.
of
Lots of businesses
inventory or
participate. Yes.
gift card sale.
Yes.
Yes, it's Jan.
But I just think, I think encouraging the membership to also come up with ideas is such a great idea. And if they want to have like a Thursday night shopping or they want to do something, I think that that's so great. I just think maybe we should plan something for when everyone's open.
So the other thing to think about if we decide to go with this is the timing. I would suggest we don't do it the same weekend they're doing the sidewalk sale in Stratford. So I can find out when that will be happening. The reason why it was switched to July from August when they did it was because in July, a lot of businesses are getting rid of their summer stock and they're switching over to back to school and fall. And so it's a great way to sort of, get like you're going to be having stuff on sale anyways. So this way you're selling stuff that like, a big sale, but it would have been a big sale anyways. So it helps them in that way. So that's just something to think about time wise. I know that the Heritage Festival is happening in July and it's busy, but it's something to think about.
I will just offer as I overview my super sexy Heritage Summer Series calendar. July 4th Saturday is the only Saturday where there isn't specifically an event. So if you're looking for something secular, then that's probably not a bad day. But Kelly could also probably jump in as well as I could on that.
Yeah. So a couple things. So we have a calendar of things that we are slowly adding to. So a couple of things to think about, and I think Jan's going to get into this later as well, is that we are having a very active summer with baseball tournaments this year. On the weekends, and predominant location for those tournaments through the month of July is going to be Milt Dunnell Field. So they will be directly coming through downtown. So Jan, obviously, I did send out that email with those dates. The U18 group is the only group that will not be using Milt Dunnell Field because it's too small for them. And their tournament isn't until August. And they'll be using the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame fields. So that's one thing that we are going to highlight as part of the Heritage Summer Series through the month of July is include those tournament dates. The other thing is the Lions Car Show is a big one, which is generally through the afternoon. And then the Stonetown Triathlon is occurring on that first Sunday of July. So that'll be happening as well. And that takes place out at the quarry. But the other ones that are interesting is we did meet with the Stratford Walking Tour group. So Lori, she's looking to launch a food tour that's a ghost tour related sort of combo, and it'll go through downtown. So I know she's reached out to a few of the food establishments downtown to see how they can be a part of that tour. And that will run through the evening. So that could be a nice partnership as well to include something on the evening that she's running some ghost tours, but she's going to run a few through the month of July. And those will take place through the evening. So we will definitely be adding as we keep discussing things and things keep kind of popping up on our radar. The other group that we've met with that are looking to put something together is the community players. So I don't have details about that yet, but they are looking and having conversations about how they can add to the month by adding some sort of events or shows or activations throughout that timeline as well. So there are a lot of things kind of happening. So I think depending on whatever date you pick, there could be other things going on, but they would probably just add to what you're doing. And I think obviously downtown is our focus through our Heritage Summer Series and keeping things downtown and highlighting downtown. So my conversation with Sarah was definitely about, how can we kind of do some cool things downtown that would get people talking about, oh, I went to St. Mary's and they're doing this every month, every whatever night through the month of July, we should go back next week, or, and then word starts to spread. So that's our hope. And then, yes, ending things off with that last kind of festival show on the 25th is the plan.
Okay, great. Dan, did you want to just, when we're talking about summer activations, do you want to just go into your heritage
I can
discussion at this point?
Sure. I sent you the minutes. I thought that was the easiest notes that you could look over. I'm not going to go through it all, but just a couple of things. So it will be on the 25th, and we're going to have it again probably from 10 till, what did we say, 4 or 5. So basically during our business hours. And then there won't be any music happening after 5. Or after 4 actually. So I'm assuming everything will be tore down and things will go open. And because it's the 25th, of course, it won't be, the fireworks won't be in the evening, so there really won't be anything for in the evening, as far as I can tell. Is that
No,
correct,
the Kinsman Summerfest is occurring that evening.
Yeah,
So that's the night of their big band, like the big lineup that they have.
So from 4 o'clock on, people are expected
we
to
may
move
push
down.
the music till 5, so let's not write that one in stone yet, because we're still working on that schedule. But yeah, we are not doing, I think the best way to word it would be, we're just not doing the evening street dance down on the street. We will be doing the street kind of music all afternoon, like that'll stay the same. And we're bringing in,
it looks like more of an amateur in show. There's a magician and there's Bex. There's a few things happening on the stage, right?
There's a lot of local talent, but there's some good music coming up. Yeah. And then we're looking to do other types of expression as well, like even looking at bringing in some dance, etc., to the stage. So, but yes, we are bringing in a magician as well. He's performing at 2 o'clock.
So the other thing is we may set up our tent again. I still have the cooling misting system. I think that worked out really well. We will need to get tent weights for it, but we also need to get our tent repaired, because I think the top needs to be replaced, and also a leg, I think. I don't do you remember, Megan?
Yeah, I do the notes that I sent, and I'll follow up with that.
Yeah. So now the other thing that they had wondered about, like in July, and I think Kelly touched on this a little bit, about what can we do to get the businesses involved in being open in July, or having activities around all the stuff that's happening, because we're going towards the end of July as the Heritage Weekend. So is there things that we can do as a BIA to promote our downtown? I think that's what you're after.
And that is exactly what Sarah was just talking about. So it's not separate. It's the same conversation. At the table I had mentioned, I talked to Sarah about getting the BIA involved. So it's exactly the conversation that just happened now. So that's all.
I will talk about the Thursday night shopping. It didn't work for us at Christmas. For people who have to hire, or people who have to have employees that they have to pay, it wouldn't have paid except for the last Saturday before Christmas was the only day that really was a good day. And we were open 5 Thursdays, I think. So I don't know how anybody else felt, but for me, it wasn't really it wasn't worth it. Like, I just basically sat here and did books,
I think the summer and the winter are really very different. Not that I can speak to or that I'm encouraging businesses to stay open late. I think we can keep thinking of activations or different things to do. But from a BIA, I really communicating to our membership how much is going on and just being really clear and open with everything that's going on in town is really encouraging. I want to be open if I know so much. Of course, if there's tournaments and there's shows, people are coming to town. Yeah. Let's be open. And summer is most often when people are.
Yeah. And that's my idea too. I don't mind staying open if there's something happening, and you know, to be available for the people to come in if they need something or want something. So, but I'm not going to be open, I don't think, when there's nothing else going on, just because it's a Thursday night, I guess. That's my thought anyway. Okay, great. That's all I have then.
Awesome. Thanks for representing us for the Heritage Committee, Dan. Lisa, the beautification report. I think we've covered a lot of stuff, but I'm sure there's something exciting you have to add.
Chair, you've skipped the AGM location.
Oh, AGM location. Pardon me. The AGM location. Just an update from my end. I have not received any interest previously. We put it out for 162 Queen for space and availability. I've not reached out to anything. So at this point, I would defer to option B, whatever that might be. Alex, take it away.
I've reached out to 3 people. So I haven't heard confirmation yet or pricing info if they're going to be open. Like, I'm reached out to 3 people, very preliminary. Question: audio, video, pretty essential?
Not terribly essential. Very, like, we can viably do it with like a video monitor from somewhere else. Like, it's not hard to hook up. I have video monitors at the branch. I have like IT equipment. I can hotspot off my phone. Like, we don't have to worry. I don't think that should limit us.
Okay. So that was my first. Sorry. That was my first thing. The second was, will it be the same format that we've done in the past? We have our meeting, very quick meeting, but mainly it's a summary of a year in review and upcoming. So sorry.
Yeah, presenting the budget, I assume. Yeah.
Presenting the budget, year in the review, and what to look forward to this year. But I just wanted to talk about if the agenda starts to fill out and there are lots of other delegations or motions or interests, do we keep it to that night, or do we have like a little meeting earlier as to not involve or take up too much time of everyone else?
I think the purpose of the AGM is to be mindful of the greater downtown BIA and not be mindful of our direction or directives, in my opinion. So anyone else is free to jump in.
Yeah, I think it would be more, I think we have to present the budget. I think a year in, what we've done this year, what we're looking forward to next year is important. And that's why people come and to ask questions and hopefully have their questions answered. I just didn't want, I wanted to make sure it wasn't too long of a meeting that may, sorry, at the risk of sound, bore other people or disengage. I want to keep it engaging and encourage people to come.
So then maybe as a group, we can try to, like, anything that we sort of want to discuss in March, April, we could discuss at next month's meeting, and then
let's
worry
move
so much about
up.
April. Yeah.
Is it too early to set a budget for the AGM? So we know what we're dealing with.
I think at this point it would be too soon, as we're still looking at what the locations are. So we'll do that for next month, I think, if that works. Okay.
Yeah, Alex. I'll have more info for next month.
Okay.
Similar food, light food, drink ticket. That's it, right?
I've already started putting together some slides. I'm making them way less and way simpler and really just going to mostly have images and some touching points, because I find that otherwise people just read them and it's not, I mean, it does tend to, like, people can read them themselves, you know what I mean? So I feel like if you want to come, you can't just demand the slides and say, hey, I just want the slides, I'm not going to attend. Like, we're hoping to engage the membership if they show up. So of course I will send it all to you. I also don't want my hourly allotted hours going so hugely to this, because I feel like you probably don't want that for me, as like you don't want me to spend too much time on it. So feel free to give me feedback, but I feel like simple is maybe better. What do you think?
I think it is. I think we start to lose people if they're
Yeah.
too detailed.
Yeah, me too. And
It's
I feel like if there's
information
too
for
many.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, but I want to include all that information, but I feel like we could probably, share it and get through them quicker if there's less of them, and just
Could
make
we
them.
almost do a slide by season, or would that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of are organized that way a bit.
Just sort of have like a winter, spring, summer, fall.
Yeah.
Here's what we did.
I mean, what I can do is I can just come up with like a list of what the slides should be and send them all to you, because I don't want to wait till the next meeting, but I can just email all of you and then you can give me feedback, or feel free to tell me what you think is missing or what needs to be added or whether it's too much. And then I can build it so that it's not a waste of time and I'm not using up my valuable hours on designing something that doesn't need to be in existence. So whatever you think, but anyway, I just thought I would ask now because I don't want it to be just last minute. I'd rather have something that I can work on a little bit each week so that it's I'm not suddenly over my hour budget. That's just what I thought.
That's great.
Okay.
Okay. 9.6 beautification report. Lisa.
Okay, so just a couple of quick ones. Reached out to Jed at Public Works to find if we can get those red banners put up downtown that we had from last year, just to throw some color on the street. I've sent everybody the response back from Classic Display on Christmas lights. That's been forwarded over to Public Works as well, because they need to make sure that it's, compatible with our light posts. So waiting to hear back from Jed on that. So I'll probably have an update for the next meeting. But do we have an idea as to how many we want to purchase if we go ahead and purchase them? Chris Tucker from Classic went ahead and just assumed we wanted 20 in his quote, but like it could be anywhere from 6, 12, 15, whatever. There is no price break under 50, so it doesn't matter.
Let's get
Except
50.
Let's
just light up the whole town.
Yeah. Did also see that if the discount would, if you purchase it March 1st kind of thing?
Yeah, if we can get it done, I just don't think that's going to be possible. Once we get Public Works to approve it, is that going to, is a 20% discount if we do it in February? I don't see how that's possible to get it turned around that fast. If the information comes back from Public Works, great.
But it'd have to be, we'd have to have a special meeting then to approve the budget, the funds for it then.
I think that I'd be more than happy to welcome an emergent meeting if we got a report back from Public Works in a timely manner. I can devote 15 minutes of my time to approve that budget. That's my
thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anybody have any ballpark number of what you'd like to see? And do we want to keep, I know Public Works is not going to like this one, but the other ones that we have are still in working condition. I know they're not easy to put up and they're somewhat difficult. The new ones we're speccing are like a third of the weight and should be a lot easier to put up. But I feel like wasting $10,000 on something that still works We shouldn't be throwing it out. Like we could integrate the old ones with new ones and then expand on it next year, or we could buy them all now. What do we think about we're getting new ones plus keeping the old ones? So you can put them down side streets or something, get more coverage.
I don't think we should get rid of the old, like, I don't like the idea of throwing something out. Just, we've used them for years. Yes, there may be lighter technology and there may be easier ones, but if it's not broken.
I figure until they give up the ghost, we keep them, but I know they're not as easy as the new ones are going to be. Anybody want to throw out a number as to how many we're thinking?
How many do we have? How many do we have now?
Is it 12?
How many light posts are there?
Like 50 some odd.
Like one on every light post would be great.
That's what I think. As many as we possibly can.
I
agree.
I have a map of the light posts.
I think we should just go big.
But don't forget, we're also trying to get Edison lights right on the side streets.
Amazing.
So you get that all year long, plus whatever we can do. Okay, so we'll wait to hear back from Jed, and then we'll finalize the number when I ask for the formal quote.
I think the purpose of the beautification committee is to decide what's beautiful, and then we'll just come in with the money and some side. Like I don't like to decide on a number. Like I defer to your expertise and your vision for this, and feel like I would support whatever you decide. I don't support 50.
Okay, well, to put it a different way, is there a monetary value that we want to cap out at for this? Because it will be coming out of reserve, and there's, other things coming up as well, like website and then potential seating. So
don't forget about the banners too.
And the banners
with the artists. The pods.
Which are the hydro boxes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it was his quotes for 20 lights, you said?
He just put a quote for 20.
And that was like 12,000, wasn't it? To me, that's not that bad. Even if we went with 20 and then.
Well, if you compare, like, I think it was Sue that told us the ones that we have now were 10 grand. And if we can get 20 for 12, I think we've only got 12 now. Good value for money.
I've got a little bit of time tomorrow. Would you want me to have a walk downtown and kind of go over, how many
I've got
we
a
are?
map, and I've got a map. I'll forward it on to you. That shows like when the urban streetscape person, they did like a map of the entire town with all the light posts counted.
I think and walking though would be great too, just for the aesthetic of actually like seeing it, right, and visualizing it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and I'm hoping, like, I don't know if anybody's got a picture of the older ones. For some reason, I can't. It's not coming up in my head, but to kind of integrate them with the new ones and see.
Well, the old ones are those shooting stars, and the one that was sort of the popular winner this time was another stack of stars. So complementary.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll take a walk down there, downtown tomorrow, and just email you and let you know.
And I'll verify how many of the other ones we have.
Was it snowflakes or stars on Water Street? Because you guys have you have the shooting stars on Queen, but what's on the side streets?
I don't think we have anything, do we?
Yeah, you do.
Jan?
Yeah, it's either snowflakes or stars because they were different colors. They were strung with different light colors.
I don't remember us having any light pole decorations.
We do. I'll find out how many of those we have.
And
I'll see if we have a picture.
There are.
Yeah, I thought it was on Water too.
I don't think so.
I can't remember any.
I see them on Wellington for sure, but I can't remember Water Street either. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
If there were ones on Water Street, we are not very observant. The four of us.
People on
Clearly.
We got to open our eyes a little more.
Okay, so we'll come back to that as soon as I get information. I'll throw it out to everybody as soon as we get back from Public Works. And then the next thing would be seating. I think everybody loved that little 2-seater checker table for seating.
Cute.
Yeah, interactive. Have a lunch, have a coffee. So Kelly sent me tonight the parameters of how far up from the building they have to be. And there's also some suggestions from that urban street designer of where we could place them. So I'll forward that on to everybody as well. And I'll go ahead and get a quote on the chess and checker two-seaters and how much they would be. Was there another top contender that you wanted to see pricing on?
I kind of like the benches, but
Sorry, Dan?
I like the benches.
We do have a number. That's why we're going for like tables so you could eat and have a coffee, but I can price them out. Do you want to let me know which bench you liked?
Sure. Yeah, I can do it. The two-seater checker things, how would they be affixed to the sidewalk? Like, are they bolted in or?
Don't know. It might just be by weight. Like, I'll have to find out. Now that we have an idea, I will request a quote and specs and everything, just like I did for the Christmas lights, so we can send it on to Public Works and they can determine if it's allowed or not.
I looked up the specs on the one I got the email, Dan, and I to me it looked like they had bolts, but it might be something that is both ways. You can do it this way or you can do it that way.
Yeah, that's what I sort of saw. Was I thought they were bolted in too, and to me, I don't know that that's gonna fly. But anyway, we'll see what happens.
And what are we thinking for a ballpark dollar figure to spend on seating? Okay, never mind. I will just get some quotes and we'll go from there.
I feel like we have so many balls in the air right now with quotes, like for the, like, I don't know.
I can't remember how much everything else costs.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of like, 10 for this and 20 for that. I don't know how much we have left.
Like, I thought, don't quote me, but I thought we had about 40 grand unassigned in the reserve left.
I think so.
That sounds right to me
that
too.
doesn't include a website or the lights or seating or anything else that we wanted to do.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. So let's get quotes and then decide. Cause
yeah. Okay. Done.
Like, cause I don't want to get.
We'll see how many locations we can actually put them on.
Yeah. And like, I don't want one, like, I think getting one doesn't really impactful, right? If we can't get, what, Stella, calm down. If we can't get 5, then, or like a number of them, I don't really want, you know what I mean? To just have one out there doesn't really seem like impactful to me, but I want everyone to play checkers and chess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's me.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. Jan, Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame collaboration. Thank you, Stella.
Oh yeah. Okay. So there was a meeting in December that unfortunately I couldn't make it to because, retail in December. But Kelly was there, sent me the notes. And as she already explained, there are going to be a lot of baseball events in downtown this summer. And then I started thinking, gosh, like, why are we not sort of actively promoting ourselves as kind of Canada's baseball town? So then I went to Google and I Googled best baseball towns in Canada. And the 4 cities that came up are Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and St. Mary's. And I was like, okay, I think we really need to lean into this. Like, we're not Toronto or Montreal or Vancouver, but we came up next after all of those locations. I have no idea what it looks like, but I mean, I'm thinking like some of those banners that we've commissioned, maybe some of them have baseball on them, and in the summertime they hang, and it's, I don't know, welcome to Baseball Town, whatever it says. But it seems like a real missed opportunity not to lean heavily into the baseball thing in a town that has the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. And I might be foolish and this has been talked about 100 times and I just don't know it, but I thought it was worth a discussion.
My 2 cents worth, we absolutely should be utilizing this. We're banking in on this, because baseball, I know so many people that weren't even into baseball until this past fall or this past summer. And even before the Blue Jays started doing really well, I knew people that hadn't, including myself, had been, you know, found this new love for baseball. And when I came into town on the Baseball Hall of Fame weekend and, you know, interacted with quite a few people that were downtown and had come in just specifically to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame and then come downtown and shop and get a coffee and dine. And I know that the idea has been, oh, people go to the Baseball Hall of Fame and they don't come downtown, but I don't think that that's necessarily true. But besides that, that's just the induction weekend. Why are we not, you know, leaning into this? And I feel like part of it is that we're not really marketing ourselves as a baseball friendly city or town or whatever. I don't know what it looks like or what it means, or if it means maybe the summer activation thing is more related to baseball. I don't know, but I agree with Jan that this is a direction that we should be definitely looking at least from a marketing standpoint. So that's all I'm going to say.
It'd be possible to go to the baseball museum sometime and have Scott show us around and maybe bounce out some ideas. Just a thought.
Scott will show you around anytime you go there.
Anytime.
I don't think Scott loves anything more than talking about the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Also this year, I had talked to Kelly about this a few months ago, actually, but I think for at this year's Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend, we should be present. It doesn't mean that we have to like do something like we did last year. I know that didn't pan out entirely, but even just being being at the table with the town and handing things out or handing out our postcards, our cute postcards, you know, giving away, you know, coupons or even just information. I'm not sure, but I'm happy to be there to help market downtown as part of the day. If you guys agree to that.
I'll just add, I usually go to the induction weekend anyway. So if you want me to set up something or hand out stuff, I can be there to do that as well.
So we have a tent.
Only if you dress up.
Yeah.
Every time I volunteer, somehow I get a new outfit.
Are our banners that are going on the light poles, are they already designed or decided on for the summer?
I did send an email to Kelly after you and I had our little meeting and said, I have a better idea for the fourth banner, but Kelly was away, so I don't know whatever happened with that, but.
I got it.
Okay.
Mhm.
My apologies. Are we still doing another round of hydro boxes commissions sometime?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe like we could put a request in for a baseball themed one. That way it's kind of a permanent fixture.
It would have been a great suggestion if the artist didn't already have preliminary sketches completed.
Oh, sick. Well,
But
somewhere else.
there's always room for another box, maybe in the very near future.
They have preliminary sketches.
Liz has preliminary sketches. I'm waiting on Heather. I haven't seen them yet, but they're available. Meeting updates to come on the meeting for that, but yes. I just have to measure the boxes.
Which tall man has to do?
I think that the artists just want an idea of,
Oh,
like, is it 10 feet by 2 feet, or is like I sent a picture, but they actually just like
but not the
basic.
actual
No.
detailed measurements
No.
yet? Okay.
just like to scale their actual art. Okay. Jan, anything else that
Just something to think about. I don't know. I just think it's a missed opportunity not to lean into the baseball a little bit, whether it's through decor or special offerings or I don't know.
And is it just a summer thing? Or we lean into it like the summer? we lean into it?
I
Or is
think it depends
we
on
do it
how
year
much we
round?
want to lean into it. I mean, I guess it depends on how much we want to lean into it. Like, do we want to lean into it all baseball season, given that it's the Baseball Hall of Fame? Do we want to lean into it just in the summer? I don't know. I don't know exactly what it looks like. I just thought, okay, if you Google best baseball towns in Canada and St. Mary's is in the top 4, maybe we should lean into that somehow, whether it's through beautification, decor, activations, encouraging businesses to do something. Like, does Hearns ever offer like a baseball themed ice cream cone, something like that?
Well, I think we're going to have to really get on that soon because like baseball season starts end of April, right?
You got it.
Like we need to put this together.
So can everyone come to the table next meeting with a baseball themed idea?
Oh, fun. Yes.
Sure.
Good, bad, or otherwise?
And
That's
we
what I
can
was gonna
also,
suggest.
pardon?
Sorry. I was trying to unmute myself. I'm going to mute myself again.
No, I was just saying, I think it's really important that we communicate to everyone when these tournaments are happening, especially the ones that are happening at the flats. So we can really we can promote, if it's for a certain weekend, they're coming this weekend, there's going to be this many families approximately, or this many people. So businesses can develop on their own something to encourage people to stay for lunch or to go shopping after. And of course, we can promote it. But the more time we give the businesses an opportunity to think about what they can offer that works best for them, and then when we have more time to promote it.
Perfect. Uh, 9.8. Sarah, is there anything you wanted to add to the marketing report?
No.
Okay.
Well, the only question I had that I had included in the marketing report, what's happening with the visitor services guide, visitor's guide, and I just provided an ad sample. It's very similar to what I did last year. I added a couple of things and I changed it. Thank you for shopping downtown. It can be, it can be something that Alex and I just deal with, but I don't know the deadline. Like I haven't been kind of given any parameters, or even if we're doing it, I don't know if it's been decided. So we actually reviewed it today and there's still no ad for the downtown. So I think Stu had given the deadline of the end of January, but that's okay because we just reviewed the first draft today. So next week is the deadline. So I have not heard anything about this.
Okay. So that's fine. I'm telling you now, but I see your ad. It looks like it's almost done. So that's good. By next week or middle of next week, if it's possible to have it to him, that's good.
Even I can send it this week if it feels like this is the direction we want to go. I just didn't want it to be final. I just tweaked last year's because I didn't think you'd want me to be spending a ton of time on it, but also I feel like it was very colorful. It really stood out. And I think that that's a good thing. But if you guys have feedback or if you have any ideas that you want, I just didn't know how far we were going to lean into this baseball conversation. So I didn't want anything to be final, but I just wanted your feedback or if you're like, okay, it's good for this year or whatever.
Yeah, I can go over it with you, Sarah, tomorrow if you want and tell you kind of what's in it. There is some things I was going to ask you about because there was a piece in there that I wanted to make some edits to about downtown. So I was going to pick your brain. And then the other thing was just photography. We had some old shots of downtown. I knew there was some updated ones, so I was going to see what you had.
Okay.
And then that was it. But the ad can come anytime.
Okay, well then you and I can chat tomorrow and I'll touch base with Alex to see about the ad if none of you have feedback.
Yeah, if anyone else has other feedback or something they feel really strongly about, in the next 2 days, I guess, or now if you have it. Otherwise, Sarah, you and I can finalize it this week.
Perfect. Thank you,
Okay,
Sarah.
and then, sorry, I don't want to talk for very long because I know everyone's, it's close to the end. I just included the soup crawl poster, kind of created it and got feedback from Jan and Alex and went for it. I put a little ad example of if we decided to go with a tiny ad about the soup crawl in the Independent, but again, I think we're leaning in a different direction. This was just so that you had some ideas. I included a proposal from an influencer who contacted me a while ago, and I talked about it last month, but I didn't get this in. She hadn't sent me anything in time to include it. So I did want to show you what a typical influencer proposal looks like. But personally, I don't think I would lean this way just because I had a look at her stuff. I would rather sort of come to the table and say, hey, these are the different options. I'd rather kind of go over it with Alex first and bring to the table some various options. But I really feel like with St. Mary's, I really feel like it's worth leaning into the local influencer thing, but I didn't want to make any decisions without sort of sharing this with you. So yeah, maybe you feel strongly one way or the other. I brought this up last time, but I feel like the town's influencer that they hired to do some things downtown had a bigger impact because I do feel like the people that we need to get downtown are the people that are close to us.
10 minutes away.
And there is definitely room for tourism, but I feel like that might also be something that we leave to tourism. So, but again, that's
sounds like we need a baseball family or baseball person.
Yes, that would be awesome. Honestly, like I have tons of ideas, and that I would love that. Like I would rather have a baseball family than kind of like mediocre content created by this lovely woman and her twins. Like it's just I didn't feel like it was maybe the right target audience, even though I know she works with other BIAs. I just didn't really feel like our tiny town was really the right fit. But again, you might have different feedback. I don't know if you actually looked at the proposal and looked at her socials or went into any further into it, but and then the last thing that wasn't included in here, but I tried to add it, so Jenna did send it to you, was the postcard. We just wanted you guys, Alex and I just wanted you to have one more quick look at it, to sort of get your feedback, or your stamp of approval before we go ahead and print it. Did you guys have a look at it, the email that Jenna sent? Because the last one, Kelly caught that little mistake, and it's just taken us like 2 months to get it updated. So, but it's ready to go now, so we could get it printed pretty soon. I just need someone to say yes or respond at all. Or maybe none of you looked at it. I don't know, but
if I haven't said it,
just to jog our memory, Kelly brought up that it had Junction Railway Station, where the railway station, like Via Rail Station, is not where the brewery is. So Junction was removed.
That was the only change.
I think the back looks great.
Awesome. Thanks, Jan.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, it would be the recommendation that the marketing report be received. Can I have a mover?
Jan.
Alex.
Thank you, Jan. And seconder for Alex. Thank you so much. All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. Upcoming meetings, March 9th at the MOC, 6 p.m. Good, great, grand, wonderful. This point, if there's nothing else, I would recommend that the meeting be adjourned at 7:32 p.m. Mover?
Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. Seconder?
And
Jan.
Anjan